The following video is viewer discretion advised. Yes, it is. I'm serious on this. It's not adult themed. It's just I'm going to be cutting Lego bricks. I am not a purist in the form of Lego bricks cannot be modified. I am not completely antithetical to trying to stay purist. I like the idea of doing what you can in order to not modify bricks, but if I'm doing a show and I want the show to be quicker to set up and take down, then I'm going to be a little on the let's modify, not gluing. I do not glue bricks. Although I can't even say that now. Oh, actually I can. Okay, so there's one example of me not being a purist. So this is what I will call euphemistically a Lego table saw. It's a glorified, it's a Dremel built into a lot of basic brick and the cutting wheels on top here. And so yeah, even has a fence, blah, blah, blah. And that's because a while back I wanted to make my layout easier to set up and take down. And one of the things I wanted to add quickly to the layout was spotlights. Because when we do the lights out at our shows, even when I did it in the driveway, I want the thing lit up properly. And lighting takes a lot of time to set up and take down because you got wires and you have to plug and unplug and you have to worry about ripping the wires if you don't do it properly and blah, blah. So I spent a lot of time trying to develop ways of plugging in electrical lights, Rob Hendricks life lights, again, third party, to my layout. And the quickest way of doing that is just using those old electric plates that came in 9-volt, some space sets, some town sets, blah, blah, blah. And what I did was, there's a video in here about my landing pads on the actual tower in this the big tower over there. Those landing pads have 2x4 electric plates to supply power to the lights on the landing pads. That worked fantastically well. So I adapted that to these spotlight standards here, these posts here. And so you got 2 spotlights, the Rob Hendricks life lights coming down. And I needed to plug them in quickly. And so basically I took a 2x8 electric plate and I cut it into 4 pieces. And I wanted to do that consistently, smoothly, overall smoothly. There's some leftover stuff in here, without using a saw or a knife. And so I've dremeled pieces before to put the lights in, to drill holes through studs and stuff for lights. And so I just adapted the idea into making a table saw. And so this used to be a 2x8 and now it's 4 2x2s. And there's a counter 2x2 electric plate on the actual base plate on the layout, which has the wires going back to the power. So basically I just drop that down on top of that electrical plate on the base plate and this thing comes on. Don't have to worry about it. It's fantastic. No plugs, no nothing, no connectors to worry about. No connectors to worry about when you're taking it apart. So it makes my life a lot easier. And of course, I wanted to be repetitive on this cut. So instead of just using a Dremel and making a one-off cut, I made this table saw, which made the cutting so much easier. So again, warning, I'm gonna be cutting Lego bricks pretty soon. So really, really quick as an overall, my Dremel I've had for years, probably decade plus, because I do work around the house, I do other stuff with it, and so it's not really in here a lot. So this thing sits empty up on a shelf. But now I was at Home Depot last week, and I bought myself a new Dremel. So this is going to be for home use, and that Dremel is going to stay in the table saw. So I'll be able to use it full time as a table saw. Not that I do a lot of modifying; it's just a pain in the butt to set up. Make sure this is perfectly where I want it. I get it rigid in there, blah, blah, blah. This was Mark 1 for the table saw build, the Lego table saw build. I could have built it better, smarter after I built the first one. Easily adaptable. Like this is all brick built. It doesn't come apart at all. The fence, I like it. I mean, not the fence though, for crying out loud. I forgot the names of these things. But it's modifiable. Usually it has this piece on there as a backstop, but I changed it because the pieces I'm going to be cutting are going to need this little gap right here. So I'm going to be cutting some. I'll probably try it. I've never done this before. Now I'm going to be norm for a bit. The very first thing you have to remember is talk about safety rules. Wear your safety glasses because this is just basically glued together grit. It will break and pieces will go flying. Now it's not going to be like my shop class where, you know, I'm going to lose an eye, but you don't know. And so I'm going to be cutting these guys in half, and I've never done this before, so I modified the fence. Again, this is the best part about this thing, because you can, I don't know, that's kind of looser. Maybe, there we go. Maybe if I go like this and get rid of this piece. See, Lego on the fly, you can just keep on. There we go, maybe that's better. Think about this for a second, because I don't want my finger, well, it's not bad, my finger will miss. Let's just try this, and if I go live and cut my finger, you guys will see it live. And let's see. That is what he wanted. I'll just clean the pieces off the side, and that's not too shabby. I'm happy with that. Now, the piece that came off is smaller, of course, because this has to be exactly one stud, like that, right? And to the edge of that. So this piece will be, obviously, because the width of the blade is something. So you can see the width of the blade there. So the width of the blade, I put right at, again, I can't adjust this back and forth at this point. I mean, I can pull the Dremel in and out a little bit, but not too much. It's got a leeway of about a millimeter or two. Unlike my table saw in the garage, which is a 48-inch table saw, and I can move the fence wherever I want. But that's what my friend wanted, and so that's what I'm going to give him. I'm going to cut a few more just to make sure that they're exactly what I need, and I'm going to send it to him. So here we go again. And one more. I think he said 3, but it doesn't matter. It's old gray, old dark gray. I'm gonna cut one more just to be sure. Again, on a real table saw, my fingers wouldn't be that close to the blade at all. But anyway, there you go. So I cut 4. Grill plates, dark gray plates. Let me clean that off. For my friend, and now I'm going to ship them to him. I think that's not bad, and I'm glad I built it. And I don't use it a lot, as I say. I used it primarily to cut those 2x8 electric plates, and then I basically stopped using it. I never really used it since, until my friend, who knew I had it, called me up and says, "Can you make me these pieces?" Because they haven't come up with a 1x1 grill plate yet. So Lego, don't bother now, because I'm making my own. So don't, you guys don't have to. So there you go. Oh, this one's got probably still some gunk in it. Yeah, I should get my knife out and clean all that up. The Dremel, if you do it quick enough, the Lego doesn't melt, the plastic doesn't melt, and these mutafleckis, these small pieces, these leftovers come off very easily. But sometimes if you're going slow, it just melts it. But I think, no, there you go. There you go, for my friend. So there you go. I wanted to do this video quickly, 9 minutes, not too bad. And these things are just going to go into the scrap bin now. And they're too small. They don't, not exactly one stud across, all of them. So I don't need them. Let's see. Take off the safety glasses. So there you go. Not much to it. I used the 8x16 tiles because it was just easier. I used just a nice base plate, 16x32 base plate. and this is all brick built. So, and there's a couple slopes in here to keep this thing exactly where I want it to go. I'm not going to take it apart right now because I'm going to probably rebuild this whole thing from scratch and build it nicer so I can modify it and change the blade easier. Because right now, like I said, I can take that off and show you. I don't want to break because those things are very fragile, those blades. But anyway, so basically, and you got a pile of stuff underneath that I want to be able to, you know, dust out every once in a while. But that's it. It's all bricks. It's not fancy at all. It's not my best build. You do ruin at 8x16, but I think we did. This is before lug bolt, but I got a lot of those from something I can't remember what now. RTL Toronto got those in abundance back in the day. I think it was for maybe a GBC or something. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Those 4 are going to go to my friend. And that's the video. Hope you liked it. Again, if you don't like modifying bricks, sorry. I don't want to do it all the time. I like to think I have a line somewhere where I do not modify it. So every time I, like, even when I'm putting Rob Hendricks life lights in, say, a Galaxy Explorer, I only drill the parts that I have to get the wire to where it has to go, to get the light where it has to go. I will rebuild the plates. There's three layers of plates at the bottom on the wings level of the Galaxy Explorer, which makes it, you just change the plates out. And so you can run instead of using a 2x8, use a 1x8, so you have room to run the wire through the plates. So you only drill the holes through the studs where the lights are going to go and where the wire is going to come out. And the rest of it, you just build around it. There was one point when I was building that thing, that when I was wiring that thing, it was just easier just to keep on drilling holes to run the wires. But after a while, it just got, it got too icky for me. I didn't want to do that all the time. So I redid it again. all the landing pads and all the wiring. So I basically rebuilt it from the bottom to the top and left a corridor for the wires to go all the way up to the top without modifying any bricks. And the only time you have a modification in there basically is where the actual light has to come through a stud. And I would just use my Dremel and drill the hole. So I don't want to, glue or drill everything or cut everything, but I do not mind cutting when necessary. And, it's a judgment call. If you want to stay purist, absolutely. And I applaud you for it. I find when I'm doing the electrical that it's tough to stay purist, especially when you're doing with this. And there are other kits. I think Rob Hendricks even has them, the nano lights. So you don't actually have to, the lights will just build between plates. You don't have to make a corridor or a way for the wire to get there because it's not the thicker wire like I use all the time. I'm not going to revamp my entire layout with newer nano lights. I like the old lights. They work for me. I'm used to them. They're all in here. They're all in there. They're all in everywhere. And I have a whole bin full of them. So I'm not going to go to nano yet. If I sometime in the future decided to do a different layout, I might go nano just so I don't have to Dremel anymore. We'll see if I like it, but I don't mind dremeling, but I don't do it capriciously. Ooh, there's a word. Anywho, wrap this up. I will talk to everybody soon. Hope everybody's doing well. I hope you liked it. If you have questions about the table saw, the Lego table saw, absolutely drop me a line. And again, if you don't like it, don't tell me. I don't need to know that you don't like the fact that I'm modifying Lego bricks like this. It's not that I don't care. It's just that this is how I run my hobby. You can absolutely, and I applaud you for it, have your hobby your way. For me, I don't mind cutting bricks when I feel it's necessary. Oh, yes, the knife will get rid of that, but so you can show me. I just get rid of the little pieces on here. So anyway, I think you guys don't need to watch me do this. So I'm going to say good night. Stay safe, take care, and I'll talk to you guys soon.